Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. In today's video we're going to look at getting started with the Sylvaneth in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, using the models that come inside the Stormbringer magazine for the faction. Sylvaneth models come in a multitude of different issues of the Stormbringer magazine. This video will provide you with the information for issues 36, 37, 40, 41, 43, 46 and 49. Today's video is brought to you by Waterfront News and Lotto, located in Devonport, Tasmania. They stock a wide variety of Games Workshop D&D, Star Wars Wargame and paint products and so much more. You can follow the link in the video's description to check out if they've got something for you today in their store. And so the first Sylvaneth model we get inside of Stormbringer is an Arch Revenant. This is a Sylvaneth hero model, essentially your standard sort of martial character leader for the faction, with 6 health, a 4+ save and actually 12-inch movement, and the fly keyword there as well to help with that movement, allowing you to ignore vertical terrain thanks to the little Zephyr spite you've got on the model's back. It's actually flying with a giant bug on its back. It's not actually wings, it's like a giant bug carrying it. It's pretty cool. Now, you've got a standard sort of profile what you expect for combat characters, with 5 attacks, 3s and 4s to hit and wound with Ren 1 damage 2. The Crescent Shield ability can be used during any combat phase and allows you to pick between one of 2 abilities to either take a defensive stance and gain a ward of 4+, or an aggressive stance and add 1 to your attacks characteristic and 1 to your wound rolls as well for those melee attacks. Your other ability, Champion of the Kurnoth, is a passive ability, which means it's always active, and what this does is add 1 to the wound rolls for combat attacks made by friendly Kurnoth units while they're hollow within 12 inches of this unit. It's pretty good because we do get quite a few different Kurnoth units throughout the magazine. Next up, we have the Warhammer Underworlds or Warbound Yulthari's Guardians. Now, these models have been moved to Legends. That means that they aren't available to be played in competitive play, but there's nothing stopping you using the rules for them that you can find on Warhammer Community for free in the Legends section download in your games at home or even at your club. Anything outside of a tournament, these are completely fine to use. Now, the Yulthari's Guardians have 3 health each, and they've also got a 5-inch move with 5+ save. Pretty standard stuff there for Tree Revenant-like models that they are. One model is equipped with a Revenant bow, and that model is going to be Anslain. The rest of them all are equipped with Enchanted Glade weapons, and Yulthari counts as a champion model, getting an extra attack as well. Those Enchanted Glades and the Revenant bow, when you shoot with it at least, do have crit auto wounds, and they've got a couple of cool abilities as well. Firstly, Yulthari, so long as she's alive within the unit, you're going to have the Wizard 1 keyword on the unit, so you've got a wizard here. And Bitterness of the Soul is a passive ability where you add 1 to the damage characteristic of their Enchanted Glade weapons for each model in this unit that is slain. Note though, however, if a model comes back from the dead, you don't get a bonus for any models that have been brought back. It is models that are actually permanently removed. So when you go to attack, if you're missing 2 models, then you would get an extra 2 attacks. You don't get the 2 attacks if, say, you've lost 2 models and brought 2 back. Next model we get is the Spirit of Durthu. Now, this actually comes along in 2 separate issues of the Stormbringer magazine, so you're going to need to pick up both parts if you want to get this model. And something to say as well is it can be built as both a Tree Lord and Tree Lord Ancient, though you will get the instructions for the Spirit of Durthu alongside, and that's what it will tell you to build, so probably best to go with that. Plus, it's a really cool model when you do. This is a 14 health 3+ save monster, and it's got a ranged attack called Verdant Blast. That's actually not too shabby. It hits on a 4+, but is Ren 1 damage 2 with 5 attacks. Its Guardian Sword is anti-monster, and this has a whopping damage 5. Meanwhile, the Massive Impaling Talons has the chance to do some crit mortals. It has the ability of battle damage, where if it has 10 or more damage points on it, it will have its Guardian Sword drop to 3 attacks. Titanic Jewel, though, is its Rampage ability, where you can pick an enemy monster in combat with this unit to be the target, and on a 3+, subtract 1 from the attacks of their weapons. And Wrathful Guardians means you actually get to add 1 to your hit rolls for any of your combat attacks where you're attacking an enemy unit within 3 inch of an Awakened Wildwood. Get away from my trees. Next, we have the Tree Revenants. The Tree Revenants are a decent enough unit for one big reason, and that is their Waypiper's Dance ability. This ability allows you just to pick up the unit for each turn and redeploy on the table wherever you want. Now, you can only do this once per turn army. You'll see that noted, the bracket of their army. What this means is you can only do it once per army. So if you've got multiple units of tree revenants, only one of these is doing it a turn. Now they've got their protected glaives, they're nothing too crazy to write home about. 3s to hit, 4s to wound, Ren 1, damage 1, they're okay. But really it is all about that objective capturing ability. The unit also does have a musician and standard bearer as well. This will give them the ability to get some extra rally rolls, and the standard bearer will give them a little bit of extra objective control score as well. Next we have another hero in the Branch Witch. Now the Branch Witch is a Wizard 1 hero standard, so no matter what, this model will have that wizard keyword, allowing you to summon some manifestations and cast some of the spells you have access to with this. Now you've got 5 health, a 5+ save, not the toughest thing out there, but you do have a crit auto wound range attack with 6 attacks. You know, you can put a few wounds here and there, and your Greenwood Scythe and Bitter Grub can do a little bit of damage as well. Fury of the Forest is your big ability though, where if these units hold within 6 inches of any friendly Awakened Wildwoods, you can pick a friendly Sylvaneth unit, hold within 12 inches of this unit, and on a 3+, that target will gain strikes first. And lastly, we have the Spite Revenants. Now, Spite Revenants are the alternate build to the Tree Revenant kit, but you're going to get them and get shown how to build both variations of this kit within the magazine if you pick them all up. And Spite Revenants for me are a little bit interesting. They're really cheap points-wise. They have 3 attacks each with crit mortals, so really you are fishing for mortals on them. Anything you can do to get them more attacks or get them rerolls is going to be very well worth it. Other than that, their Unbridled Malice means you can pick an enemy infantry unit in combat with the unit to be the target, and you can actually stop that unit using commands. This is another cool ability and doesn't involve them dealing direct damage, but potentially being able to shut off commands can land your other units to hit harder. You know, stopping an all-out defense against your Spirit of Durthu could be a really powerful thing to have happen. Now, you may want to pick up multiple of these because in our list that we're going to show in just a minute, we do show having 2 lots of these models as they are the cheapest ones, and just fill in the points to get you that perfect 1,000-point list. And so for our list today, we're playing with the Outcast battle formation. This gives us the Terror and the Eves passive ability, where we subtract 3 of the control score of enemy units while they're in combat with friendly Sylvaneth. This is a pretty cool ability. It applies just broadly to your whole army, so it's not sort of making you specialise. I think when you're starting out and you've got a variety of different units, this is certainly the way to go. So our first regiment is going to be led by our Spirit of Durthu. This one is going to be our army's warlord as well, and we've got the artifact of power here, the Crown of Fell Bowers. Now the Crown of Fell Bowers is an ability we can use during any combat phase. Roll a dice for an enemy unit in combat with the unit, and on a 3+, we add 1 to wound rolls for all Sylvaneth units that target that particular enemy unit we've picked. Now we go into units for this model. We've then got Yuthari's Guardians. Our Arch Revenant is actually allowed to be included as a unit inside this regiment as well. A unit of Tree Revenants and the unit of Spite Revenants that's been reinforced, getting lots of attacks on them to try and trigger those crit mortals. Our second regiment is pretty simple. We just have our Branch Witch all by her lonesome, but she does have the heroic trait Spellsinger. While this unit's within combat range of an Awakened Wildwood, if they're a wizard, they can add 1 to their casting rolls, and she's obviously going to be near them because that's how she gets all of her abilities off. We hope that this video was helpful in getting you started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar using the Stormbringer magazine, and that I was able to give you some ideas and inspiration to use those forces on the table. If you have any other questions at all, please comment down below, and while you're there, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and join our Discord server for all future content for the Stormbringer magazine in Warhammer Age of Sigmar.